Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Achilles and I'm a consultant and PostgreSQL trainer at Sankhana Consultancy Services. And I would like to talk to you today about the world's most advanced open source database, that is PostgreSQL. So first we will see on our today agenda for this session. So as we can see that mostly we are going to talk about that what is PostgreSQL, on which DBMS platform it runs, like it runs on ORDBMS, and we will see that what is ORDBMS, how it is helping Postgre to become one of the most advanced open source database, and then we will see that some ranking provided by the database engine, that how PostgreSQL has been increased uh, its uses in the market since from 2013 to 2019. Then we will see that why anyone should learn this PostgreSQL and for which domain it will be helpful. Then we will see that there is will be one graph which will be showing that which database is trending currently in the market. Then we will see that how this PostgreSQL is helping in the data science domain, and how if someone will learn this course or learning, it will like enhance them or like use in their own goals, achieving their goals. So let's go and see that what is PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL is a powerful open source object relational database system that uses and extends the SQL language combination with many features that safely store and scale the most complicated data workload. PostgreSQL has earned a strong reputation for its proven architecture, reliability, data integrity, robust feature extensibility, and the dedication of the open source community behind the software to constantly deliver performance and innovative solutions. PostgreSQL runs on all majority operating systems. It is no surprise that PostgreSQL has become the open source relational database of choice for many people and organizations. Now let's see some key features of PostgreSQL. Like as we discussed, that PostgreSQL runs on all majority like operating system, like including Linux, Unix, HVUX, Mac OS, Windows. It supports text, images, sounds, and videos, including programming interface for C, C++, Java, Perl, Python, Ruby, TCL, Open Database Connectivity, ODBC. So PostgreSQL supports a large part of SQL standards, offer many modern features including the following: complex SQL queries, SQL subqueries, foreign keys, triggers, views, transactions, multi-version concurrency control (MVCC), streaming replication, hot standby. PostgreSQL can be extended by users in many ways. For example, by adding new data types, functions, operations, aggregate functions, index methods. So these are all the advantages of the PostgreSQL if you use it. So now we will see that what is ORDBMS. So Object Relational Database Management System, ORDBMS, is a database management system similar to relational database, but with an object-oriented database model, like objects, classes, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation are directly supported in database schema and in the query language. In addition, just as with pure relational database system, it supports extension of the data model with custom data type and methods. An object relational database can be said to provide a middle ground between a relational database and object-oriented database. In object relational database, the approach is essentially that of relational database. The data resides in the database and is manipulated collectively with queries in the query language. At the other extreme are like ODBMS, in which the data is essentially a persistent object store for software written in an object-oriented programming language. With a programming API for like storing and retrieving objects are little or specific support for query. So the basic need of object relational database arises from the fact that both relational and object database have their individual advantages and drawbacks. The isomorphism of the relational database system with a mathematical relation allows it to exploit many useful techniques and theorems from the set theory. But this type of database are not useful when the matter comes to data complexity mismatch between the application and the DBMS. An object-oriented database model allows containers like sets, lists, arbitrary users-defined data type, as well as like nested objects. This brings commonly between the application type systems and like database type system, which recovers any issue of impedance mismatch. But object database, unlike rational, do not provide any mathematical base for the deep analysis. The basic goal of the object relational database is to bridge the gap between the relational database and the object-oriented modeling techniques used in programming languages such as Java, C++, Visual Basics, .NET, C Hash. Moreover, however, a more popular alternative for achieving such a bridge is to use a standard relational database system with some form of object relational mapping (ORM) software, whereas traditional RDBMS or SQL DBMS products focuses on the efficient management of data drawn from the limited set of data types. So an object relational database management system allows software developer to integrate their own type and the method that they apply to them into the DBMS. The object relational database management system, like we discussed that ORDBMS and object oriented OODBMS, is integrated with an object oriented programming language. Like the characteristic property of ORDBMS are complex data type, type inheritance, and object behavior. So let's understand them one by one. What is complex data type? So complex data creation is the most SQL or DBMS is based on primary schema definition via the user defined type UDT. Hierarchy within structure complex data offers an additional property like type inheritance. That is, a structure type can have subtype that reuse all of its attributes and contain additional attributes specified to the subtype. Another advantage is the object behavior. So it is related with access to the program object. Such program objects must be stored and transportable for database processing. Therefore, they usually are named as persistent objects. Inside a database, all the relations with a persistent programmer objects are relations with the object identifier, which is known as OID. All of these points can be addressed in a proper relational system, although the SQL standard and its implementation imposes arbitrary restrictions and additional complexity. So, in object-oriented programming, the object behavior is described through through the methods like object functions. The methods denote by one name and distinguish by the type of their parameter and type of object for which they attach, like method signature. The OOPS language call this the polymorphism principle, which briefly is defined as interface and many implementation. The other OOPS principle, as we discussed, that inheritance, encapsulation, uh, are related both to method and attributes. Method inheritance is included in type inheritance. Encapsulation is object-oriented principle. Is visibility degree describe, for example, public, private, protected access modifier. So coming to the next slide, like this graph is provided by the database engine, which shows the ranking of PostgreSQL. So it has been, as we can see, that how from the year 2013 to 2019, how it has been, how the growth of PostgreSQL has been monitored. So, like having due to the having the principle of object-oriented concept, it has been a very steep increase in its growth. So if anyone can learn this, like most of the data science currently in current scenario are using this PostgreSQL for their database administrator, because of having many of like options. You can create your own methods, functions. Like suppose a new data type you encounter, so you can either create that also. So as we can see that it is having a very steep increase in its growth. So it has been provided from the year 2013 to 2019. So for 2020, it has not been provided for yet. But as we can see that it is growing and it will keep growing on and on. So coming to the next slide, we will see why to use PostgreSQL over other open database sources and what are its advantages. So to start any journey of learning, asking why is an excellent question. It gives us both a direction to send us on our way and an expected destination without a clear path to follow. Our brain tends to filter out new information, and so let's go and see some valid reasons to learn PostgreSQL. So PostgreSQL comes with many features aimed to help developer build applications, administrator to protect data integrity, build fault-tolerant environment, and help you manage your data no matter how big or small the data set is. In addition to being free and open source, the PostgreSQL is highly extensible. For example, you can define your own data type, build out custom functions, even write codes from different programming languages without recompiling the database. As we go deeper into the digital world, there is an increased demand of open source database management system. Although PostgreSQL has been around of over 30 years of experience, so in the last decade there has been a steep rise in its popularity, as we discussed from the as we see from this database engine graph also. So now it plays a key role in many integrated data centers across the globe. PostgreSQL is a highly reliable enterprise class RDBMS that supports both SQL and JSON. It offers exclusive features which were earlier available only with expensive commercial databases such as Oracle. So PostgreSQL is a free open source RDBMS that is used by many multinational companies worldwide, as it is not only help developers in building apps and fault tolerant environment, but it also manages and protect data irrespective of the data set. Some biggest advantage of like PostgreSQLs are like compatibility. PostgreSQL is compatible with various platforms and all major languages. Apart from this, it supports JSON and can be linked with other databases such as SQL and NoSQL. PostgreSQL also features ordered set within a group, recursive SQL, table sampling, partial aggregate with filter clause, and hypothetical aggregate within a group. So now we'll see the another advantage is like compliance. So it has been developed keeping in mind international compliance standards such as ANSI. It can also be used to build HIPAA and ACID compliant application. The another advantage is like unparalleled performance. It provides advantage locking mechanism, table space, partition table, and many different type of indices. It can also run parallel queries and other advanced cost-based query optimization. Such features ensure that it delivers unparalleled performance as an RDBMS. The next coming feature is like security features. It promises security features also set it apart from the other DBMS. It extends full support of SSL, database encryption, single sign-on, and let you manage users, roles, etc. as per the need of the project. So it also offers a sophisticated locking mechanism. So the next advantage is it is replicable. It can be used for synchronous, asynchronous, logical, physical, log-based, trigger-based, and practical replication. One of its best features in pointing time recovery. So geotagging is the another advantage. It can be used to store geospatial data as it supports geographic objects, so it can efficiently manage location-based services and geographical information system. Other prominent features are like it supports stored procedure in various languages, custom aggregates, multi-version concurrency control, and professional trivia. It has a mature server-side programming function with complete support of client-server network architecture. So coming to the next slide, like it is provided by the Stack Overflow survey, we can see that PostgreSQL again emerged as the fastest growing database management system. A close second behind Redis, which is in-memory database. Interestingly, organization chooses PostgreSQL over Redis because we can use it on every operating system like free BSD, HPUX, Linux, OS X, Unix, Linux, and like Windows. So it is like the multi operating system supported. It also supports SQL, which is very easy to learn for any individual. That's why it is very popular in the market and the very loved one also. So coming to the next slide, we will see that why you should learn PostgreSQL, like how it can be helping the data science, and like why anyone who is pursuing his career in the data science should learn this PostgreSQL. So like let me ask you one simple question: that is SQL a requisite to be a data scientist? So the answer is like yes, because data science has evolved, and while many data science still works with CSV file, text file, so these are not the best choice. The Python Panda library allow you to load data from CSV file, but these files have a number of constraints. For example, they usually don't connect to a database, requiring you to generate a new CSV file, extract every time you have to update data. In the age of like big data, this is simply impractical. Relational database provides the required support and ability to work with big data repositories. PostgreSQL is one of the leading relational database management systems designed especially to work with large databases. PostgreSQL is perfect match for the data science. Like I will discuss some key features like how it is a perfect match for the data science. So its key features includes like license. This platform is free to download, use, expand, and like distributors. Complex SQL queries. One of the basic feature of PostgreSQL is its ability to process complex queries. Complex queries are the like request you make from a database and goes beyond the basic SQL request of select and where. Multi-version concurrency control is the another feature which enables different users to read and write information to a database at the same time. The another feature is like user defined type. User can customize function to define individual data type, data science work with known and unknown data. Combining two or three data types into a new one helps data scientists address complex problems with a lot of data coming from like different sources. High compliance of SQL standards. So PostgreSQL meets 150 of the 164 mandatory features required to fulfill compliance to the standard. So compliance with SQL standard has been a priority for Postgres since its invention. So strong community support is the also very added advantage to the Postgres. So Postgres has a large community of contributors dedicated to expand it, develop the developing of platforms. There are like extensive supports documents and forums that can support you. So other advantages like programming language support. PostgreSQL, as we discussed, that supports all major programming languages such as like Python, C, C++, Java, Perl, R. So it supports NoSQL queries through like JSON also. The other feature is like multi-environment support. One of the characteristics of PostgreSQL is its support of cloud and on-premise environment. This is called multi-environment or like cross-environment support. A recent report by Right Scale shows how most of the organization is using Postgres over the hybrid cloud environment, a mix of on-premise and cloud system. PostgreSQL support big data by adding JSON-B for documents and Postgres for geolocation system. It allows user to adapt the platform of the workload. The platform combines data analytics and transactional capabilities in hybrid transactionals and analytics processing with STAP. This feature enabled database to perform online analytical processing, which is OLAP, and online transactional processing, which is OLTP, at the same time. So organization can use the STAP technology in the Postgres to manage information from lot of like devices and other operational applications. For example, Postgres has become very popular among the data scientists because of its flexibility and extensibility. So let us see some advantages of like how the Postgres like of after using the SQL query languages in the data science and how it is helping in the data science. So due to the rich in SQL standard compliance, Postgres supports a lot of SQL concepts and SQL syntax also. This that indicates common table includes like common table expressions, table inheritance, and like window functions. It also support like unstructured data type. Like in data science, you have heard that you will going to process too many unstructured data. So mostly this PostgreSQL is very beneficial and useful in such kind of data if you are processing because it support NoSQL data such as XML, JSON, and it's stored also. So the another advantages of it is like parallel queries. This features allows to run all the codes in the processor at the same time. This is especially important in the data science, where often there is a general querying language like multiple programs you are writing in the different windows. So you will be helpful if you are using this PostgreSQL. So coming to the another advantages of the Postgres to using the data science is the declarative partitioning. This capability make it like possible and specify how to divide a table into pieces. This is called partition. That enable you, for example, to separate a different partition for each area code when working with large research data sets that are geographically distributed. So we are having here one very added advantage that we can break our table as per our needs and we can work accordingly on that reports. So these are the very unique and added exam like winning hand for any on any other databases. Postgre is having winning hand. So coming to next slide, we will see that what we have discussed till now in the PostgreSQL and what we are going to discuss in the next webinar also. So like as we have seen that what is PostgreSQL and how it is like very important for any developer, any data analyst, any data engineer, SaaS program or data administrator because of having its very own capabilities. The reasons are many, like as we discussed that it is open source, powerful, and free. Like you can, if you want to suggest some your own data type you want to discover, you can go and post your own data type to its community. They will accept it. They will come back to you if they have another query. So it is a very strong community support you will find in the PostgreSQL. The another added advantage we discussed that no one can buy this PostgreSQL. That what happened with MySQL, like Oracle bought it and it become paid version. So this is not going to happen with PostgreSQL. If you will invest your time and your money in learning this tool and technology, so like you are not it will like enhance your career growth only. So the another advantages of it are like extensible objects. It is like possible to extend Postgre programming with the stored procedures, functions, even the data type, like an advanced RDBMS should be. So objectives like PostgreSQL is not just a relational database management system because it supports object concepts of OOPS principle. So as we discussed here that some object principle like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, it support all of this. So it has been a very added advantage if you will add this tool in your resume or in your CV. So for the next session, we are going to see some how this PostgreSQL has been like invented, and basically how when it's like demand increase, like how some of the its competitor are not fulfilling the demand what market requires, and especially now when we have so much of unstructured data which is presently available in the at the present time when we are having so much unstructured data, how it's become very important to go with one databases which support that, especially that feature. You can handle easily those kind of data sets in this. So we will also see that in the next session we will see that how PostgreSQL is having winning hand on its computer like MySQL. We will see. We will also discuss some more live examples. I will show you some tables and through the pictures that how we are actually differentiating this this database from the another database. So hope you guys you enjoyed this session. Please stay tuned for the Sankhyaana for the next webinar sessions also. Thank you guys. Bye.